This is Denver Drink and Drop. Started in LA originally, and the story that I heard is that some young artists, they were noticing all the musicians got the girl attention, and they were like, oh, you know what, we're talented, we can get girl attention. It's such a basic concept of getting a bunch of artists together and hanging out, because usually we're in our basements or wherever, drawing by ourselves, working on our masterpiece, and kind of, sitting around and chatting with each other, sometimes sharing trade secrets or business plans or critiquing or, just like hanging out as friends that draw.
I was wondering what the trade secrets are. Also, I've never not played, despite a lot of trying.
Trade secrets is probably overstating it, but it's, come on, we're like, oh, what kind of brush pen do you use kind of thing, or like, oh, one of the ways that I do that, kind of shading or little tricks, right, that we share with each other. The original group that we started with, there was too much alcoholic drinking, and I think that ended up being a lot of drama, and people just had different ideas of, what it should do. And so I wanted something a little more low-key. There's like a slow rotation. Some people come and it's not for them, and then they hang out, but there's no like fees or anything. So, and then some people, come by and it clicks, and then they stick around. It's always been pretty commercial. It's always been a product, especially when it wasn't seen as an art form. They were looking to crank them out and to sell them, and to have, they were printed on cheap newsprint, and they were made to be a throwaway item. I think, over time, collectors were like, oh, this was really valuable in my childhood, I want to keep on to this. And I think that's continued over time, and I would say probably in the last 30 or 40 years, it's more, some would say pretension, but I think it's more, there's a lot of cartoonists that have the idea not necessarily to make a product and to make something necessarily to just churn out as, as a commercial endeavor, but actually something that was like artistically ambitious. It's weird. It's like, you see some Thor backpack on a kid, right? That's from like the movie or something. And, it's drawn in the style of the way the movie looks and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't always think about, oh, that was a comic once. Like when I see the movies, sometimes they directors and writers, they throw in all these references that I get excited for, because it's, they try to cater to some of the comic nerds. But I feel like it's more product-based, more capitalist product-based than it is like an artistic expression. It is important for people to read, the stuff that I'm making, and I think that is a great thing that the internet and crowdsourcing has allowed us to do. Comics used to be such a niche thing. There was so many people that probably wanted to do comics, but there was only so many avenues that you could go to get published, and there was like gatekeepers for that. And I think with the advent of like the internet and the crowdfunding, it seems to go hand in hand with that kind of DIY. We can do it ourselves and just put it out there for people to read. And I do think it's popular. Like I said, there's a lot of people that accept it as literature now, but there's still this lasting old guard that it's trash, compared to like finer work. But in fairness, yeah, most comics are trash, but so are most novels. So are most of anything.
You're saying John Grisham novels are trash?
It's misplaced to blame the medium. It's like an art club. Well, how would you describe it, Corey?
No, I think that an art club, yeah.
I like these people. They're my people, nerdy, eccentric, intelligent. So it feels like a second home.